It is June 20th, 2026 at approximately, it looked like I got started at 111, which means I'm on the right track. Walking my doggy that y'all probably never seen before. That's Sebastian. He a needy little motherfucker. This is his first walk of the day. Cause I've been like, I don't know. I think it's the residuals of depression trying to come at me. For real. Cause I ain't got no reason to be sad today, for real, but I'm a little bit sad. I can't really say why. Cause I don't have no reason. So that's why I say it's gotta be kind of residual. It's gotta be residual. There's a lot of stuff going on in the loo today, but it feel like it's a little humid. We going on the long walk today. So it's 2 miles. And I don't think I'm gonna be feeling like doing much of nothing when we get back. As far as like going somewhere. I wish I had a date. Y'all would not believe how many motherfucking men I speak to since I've been signed back on to Facebook dating. And I swear, they can say everything, but can I ask you out for a date? You know, when am I gonna see you? What you doing today? What you got planned this weekend? What's going on with you? Like, all of those questions to me are so irrelevant to what you want. And why you just won't get to what you want. Because I'm not going to coach and coax you into asking me out on a date. That's what I'm not going to do. So, I don't know. I'm feeling some type of way. Here go the pool. I need to go home and come down here and get in the pool for a little while. Because it's humid today. It's humid. But the reason why I wanted to make a video today is because the last 2 videos I made, I really wasn't finished with that subject. And it's about, you know, me and my relationships with other women. Not like the LBGTQ, just regular girlfriend shit. And I wanted to talk about when I first came back home to St. Louis and how I was trying to connect with all these people that I knew in the past and see if anything was going to develop. Now, at the time, I didn't realize that's what I was doing. I just was trying to basically find community, but it's like everywhere I went, it was like nothing really developed with anybody. But if you remember in the video before this, when I was talking about how I was treated when me and my dog went to this little Juneteenth celebration in Webster Grove, I wanted to say something more about the young lady who had called me. And because when she called me, no, that ain't what I want to say. When I came back home, she was one of the people that I tried to connect with. I'm trying to remember. I think I went to a high school event situation and ran into her. I can't remember how we connected, but she remembered that our relationship was much closer than I remembered. You know, she told me things that I just did not remember that we did, you know, as teenagers. Because I didn't think we was that close. But obviously we weren't that close, you know. In the scheme of things, we wasn't that close. But you know, we talked about some stuff that she remembered about our connection and everything. And so that revelation had made me feel like, for sure that we were gonna connect on a level where I could have like a real friend. And so I'm trying to think of how this came about too, because how we got together this particular day. But I believe that, yeah, she called and invited me over to have a drink at this place called Three of a Kind. And I opted to go because I wanted community, like I said, you know, friends, somebody I can hang out with. And so when I pulled up at the allotted time to the parking lot, she was already there. So she was like, park over there, park over there, park over there. So, and I'm excited because she seems very excited about us getting together. So I'm feeling the excitement coming on me too, like, ooh, ooh, ooh. So I parked my car, and then when I parked my car, she said, come and ride with me, come and ride with me. So I get in the car, and I said, where we going? She said, just down the street for a minute, around the corner. I want to see my friend. And I'm paraphrasing all this because I can't remember word for word what happened. But so we go literally probably less than a half a mile away from the bar that we was going to, and pull in this parking lot of a building and go all the way to the back of the parking lot, which this parking lot is huge. And so the back of it is really big, and the building is toward the front of the parking lot, and we parked. We sat there for a few minutes while she texting and trying to communicate with the person that she has been planning to meet. And then another car pulls up. Another SUV pulls up right next to us, and she gets out. She gets out the car, and I promise you, she gone 20, 30 minutes. And I'm just sitting there in her car, you know, scrolling on Facebook and, you know, making time pass. Midway through the 30-minute mark, we'll say 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, her phone rings, and it's sitting in the car. I look at it. It says, hubby. Now, I don't know whether or not I knew she was married or none of that. You know, I don't think we had much conversation, or maybe we did. Either way, there was a clear sign that was her husband calling her. So when she finally got back in the car, I tell her, I say, oh, you know, I think your husband called. And just to give some context on me at that time, I had not freshly, but probably a couple years out of a relationship, out of a marriage where I was cheated on. And I had a couple of marriages where I was cheated on, but this one was the most prevalent, and probably because it was the last one. Either way, I didn't, you know, I had disdain and all the negative emotions you could feel about a woman who would date a married man. And so I didn't like cheating at all, whether it was on the woman's side or the man's side. I just thought it was fucked up. I just had this feeling like, if you need to cheat, why not leave? Why not just leave the relationship? Why stay in the relationship if you no longer want to be there? You know what I mean? But, I digress. So, she calls him back. And when she called him back, she put him on speakerphone. Now, at that time, I didn't even trip off for none of this, but if I was smart and paying attention to myself and loving myself like I should have, I would have. But I'm going to forgive myself right here in this moment for not being more loving toward myself. So she calls him back on speakerphone and she's talking to him, but she's talking to him loud and constantly referencing me. Now, at the time, I didn't understand. In that moment, I didn't understand that I was the decoy. You know what I mean? I was the reason why she was even able to leave the house, because this reconnection with this old friend, she wanted to have a drink, but she invited me, and I'm speculating on that part, but either way, I know that I am the reason why she was able to get out the house, because her husband was really suspicious of her, and she was using me as a reason why he didn't need to be so suspicious. So, we go back to the bar that we were going to be hanging out in, and she seems like, she wants to lead this whole ordeal. So she started that when I pulled up. Park over here, park over here, park over here. And so she gets in there and finds us a table in the middle of the room, which the room is not that big. This bar is tiny. You know what I mean? 3 of a kind is like a shot in the dark for real. I got to get this dog poo-poo up, but... So, she finds us a table, a tall bar table, and then pulls, an extra chair to the table, and then starts mingling. So the bartender comes over and, asks us if we want to order anything, and we got drinks, and then once we got the drinks ordered, she was literally gone. So she just, floating around the bar like this is her spot. You know what I mean? This is where she goes. Mind you, I'm fresh from being gone probably 10 years in Colorado. And then before the 10 years in Colorado, I probably spent about another 7 or 8 years in Columbia. So I've been away from St. Louis for a long time, I know people, but I got a bad memory too, so I don't remember a lot of people. So she just floating around like a social little butterfly, talking about, and I'm just sitting in the middle of this room by myself, which did not feel good. And then she comes over to the table with this guy. Well, no, she comes back to the table, and then another guy comes to the table and starts talking to her. She's obviously flirting with him very hard. But I done already deduced in my mind she a cheater, because she cheating on her husband. That's her whole goal, to be out tonight, is to be cheating. I'm the decoy. And truthfully, I don't even think I had realized it even at that point. And so the guy that comes over and is talking to her and everything, he stands there and talks to us for a few minutes, and then he goes to the bar and sits. And then she gets on her phone and starts calling or texting another girl to come up to 3 of a kind. Now, I don't know how we got to this portion of what I'm finna get ready to say, but she tells me that the girl that's coming to the place is her brother's ex-girlfriend. They're not together anymore, but her and this girl are still friends. So I was like, oh, okay. So the girl come, and she's light-skinned, and she's a pretty girl, kind of on the chunky side, but not too bad. No worse than me and the girl I was with, but she was pretty. And so immediately I noticed that the two of them were vying for this guy's attention. And now the reason why I'm like really kind of slowing up, because I'm trying to remember when I learned that her and this girl that she invited up there both had a threesome with the guy that came to the table. And they both, I think they had like a pact that they wouldn't do it without each other. And then one of them, I'm not sure which one, was seeing him by themselves instead of the threesome that they had started between the three of them. So I'm shocked, because I'm telling you, I put the P and the E in prude. I am a stone fucking prude. Now, I will say, I wish I was a little bit more freakier, a little more loose in the goose, and they could do a bunch of other stuff, like that. It just, for whatever reason, which I probably need to, dig into that and find out why I'm so, harsh towards sexual connection and contact. Because I am. Like, you literally gotta have me mentally, intellectually wide open for me to bust the pussy open. Other than that, you're not getting none. You know what I mean? So now I'm noticing that the two of them are really working hard to obtain this one man's attention. And so now I'm really annoyed, because I don't even want to be here no more, because I'm not having a good time. I'm just watching them, what they doing, not putting nothing together, not thinking about it too much. It's just like, because I got on my phone and made a video and posted it on Instagram. That because I had a lot of emotions about being single, because that was like 2015. And so I had been single since 2009 at that time, and I was still not making no headway on no type of relationship with a man. And so I had really ill feelings toward a lot of women that I was connecting with that had like these 2 and 3 men in their life. They got a boo, they got a babe, they got a boyfriend, they got a husband. Like, they got all these motherfucking men. Like, I had one friend that was bragging about sucking her babe dick and her boyfriend and some other motherfucker, and we had went shopping, and she got mad at me because I wouldn't give her the money to buy some shit at Ashley Stewart's, and literally threatened to not be my friend anymore if I didn't give her the money. And spoiler alert, I gave it to her because I was threatened that she wasn't going to be my friend. And we're not friends today. That's what's sad. But I had an attitude toward all these women that it seemed like they all had all these men, but none of them were faithful. None of them were faithful. So I got on my phone while I was sitting in the middle of this motherfucking bar, basically by myself, with my drink in front of me, because I don't really drink. And so it was just sitting there getting watery. I made a video and said, I mouthed it. I said it out loud, but you couldn't hear it because the music was so loud in there. And I said, oh, I know why I can't find these men, because all men want is hoes. That's all they want is hoes. Somebody that they can fuck, and maybe their friends can fuck, and they can do all these, sexual things together. And That's what I put on the video. That's the reason why I ain't had no men, because all men want no hoes. And that still stands true to today. I really believe that's the reason why I've been single so long, because I'm unable to be whorish in that fashion. Because I've had some whorish moments. You know what I mean? Like in my 20s, if I was I had to be extremely attracted to a motherfucker to sleep with him just off of GP. Nothing else involved. I know ain't no relationship developing from it. None of that. I just, oh, he's fine. And that's rare, very rare. Not because I don't have sex, because I very rarely find somebody so attractive that that's what I want to do, just fuck them. That's very rare. So back to the story. So after that night was over with, I didn't hear from her much. You know what I mean? She didn't call, she didn't text, nothing. Then I say probably maybe a month, a couple months, not that long, there was an event at this same bar for the high school that I used to go to. And so it was a whole bunch of people from school that was going to be up at this bar. So I went. I don't know what my reason was for going. I found out. I just, I went and I was up there. And this guy that I was so-called messing around with, which really was so-called, is ridiculous, because I saw him one night at another club and he asked me did I want to smoke some weed. And so I went to smoke weed with him, and he took me to a house that he was selling and fucked me in the basement. Truthfully, I got raped, because I felt in my soul, I had been in that situation before, but I was all way in it by the time I realized what was going on. And so I fucked him based on my safety. But I didn't know that at the time. I just knew that if I didn't fuck him, it was going to be a bad situation for me, because I was in a bad situation. Done got in the car with a motherfucker I think I know, because we went to school together. Left my car at the club, and now I don't know where I'm at. I just know, because he like, you want to see this house I'm selling, this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Dumb. Just really clueless. You know what I mean? My mother been telling me for years that I'm naive. You just too naive. And I am naive. And not that I want to be naive. I think that naivety comes from the fact that I haven't been loving myself. So not loving yourself creates this situation where you don't know how to protect yourself, support yourself, and be there for yourself in moments like these. At any rate, that I had already happened. So when I went up to the bar that day, he started texting me. He wanted to see me. I guess he needed some more pussy. And my desperate ass for a relationship was somewhat thinking this was like the start of a relationship. You know what I mean? I wasn't even aware that he was married. I found this out months later from the group of girls that I was hanging out with that made me out to be a home wrecker, because they found out I was fucking them, right? At any rate, he came up to the bar to pick me up, to try to take me to go somewhere to fuck. But I'm not going to go that easy this time. I did get in the car, but we're not finna get... In my mind, I'm like, I don't feel like fucking you. You know what I mean? So, no, we not fucking. You know what I mean? The few interactions I had with him over the phone since the first time that he that had swooped me off like that wasn't so good. And so he wasn't going to never get no more pussy. And he didn't, But that particular night, he came and got me. He was riding around. We was real far out, like out on Lindbergh where the airplanes fly and stuff. I guess he was trying to put some romantic vibes on play, because I guess he probably sensed the energy too, that, man, I ain't gonna be able to get that pussy like I did last time. But in the midst of all of that happened, she calls me. The girl who we've been talking about this whole time, she calls me. And she is drunk. And she says, girl, I'm drunk. I'm drunk. Come and get me. Come and get me. I'm drunk. And I saw her at Three of a Kind. She was there with all of her real partners. All the people that she really loved. And I just had an epiphany just saying that. She was there with all her real partners. The people that she really hang out with. And my dumb ass tells him, oh, take me over here to Snooks, because that's where she was at, across the street from Three of a Kind at the strip mall in front of Snooks is where she said she was. She's fucked up and she couldn't drive. And I can't even, say why I felt obligated like it was my motherfucking duty to go save her. But he took me and I got out the car and I got in the car with her. And when I got in the car, she said her husband was on her way to get her. But she wanted me to wait with her until he came. Again, I was a scapegoat, but I was not aware of that. And this guy, the guy that picked me up, he's sitting in his car waiting on me. This is how much he wants this pussy. You hear me? He's sitting in his car waiting on me while I'm sitting in her car waiting with her for her husband to come. When her husband finally did come, she got in the car with him and they left. I literally talked to her no more after that. I tried to reach out. I tried to text. I tried to see what was going on because she seemed like a person that would be knowing what's going on and could be around some people that might be, of some substance. You know what I mean? But she wasn't fucking with me no more. And even though I was never told why, I know why. Because her husband didn't like me. And her husband didn't like me because she was telling him that it was me that was causing this problem of her being out and being a bad girl, probably. I'm definitely, manufacturing that because I don't have no knowledge of that. But, when you looking at stuff in hindsight, you can just see a lot of things that, like, damn, so she just used me. She just used me to be able to get out and fuck around on her husband. And at that time, I really couldn't understand, like, why would you want to fuck around on your husband? You know what I mean? He was 10 years younger than her. In her eyes, she said he was fine. I wouldn't speak on that because he definitely wasn't the type that I would say that was fine, but he was taking care of her. She met him in Targets. He was working in Targets and she was shopping. And then they got together and had a child and, and made a life. Bought a house out there in Magic City and, they made a life with each other. So she, in my mind's eye, she could have just been happy with what she had, but obviously that wasn't enough. She needed more. She needed more attention, I guess. Or maybe his dick wasn't that good, or maybe he wasn't freaky enough. I don't know what it was. All I know is that I was the one that had been being used to make it look like it was all me that was keeping her doing shit she wouldn't normally do. And, that's just hurtful because I could tell you probably about 5 or 6 more stories about other women that the exact same, not the exact same thing, but the scenario was very similar. But the husband didn't like me, not even knowing that I was the bitch that was telling the other bitches that was doing all the cheating, like, damn, why? Could you, stay? I'm thinking one is enough. One got to be enough. When I had one, that was enough. Wasn't enough for him. He needed some more, but for me, it was enough. And I think it was my first time really realizing how promiscuous women actually were, especially women who I knew personally. That was real strange because I had another friend. Listen, anytime I say friend, y'all know that it ain't a friend because I haven't had a friend. my entire life, for real. I have been a friend. I have not had a friend. At any rate, I had another associate that I had been hanging out with at around that same time. And this bitch had so many niggas that she was fucking with. I just like, and you know, not to even be trying to dog nobody out or nothing, but to me, she was a goofy. The way she dressed was real goofy. You know what I mean? And she wasn't very smart. Like, one of the guys that she was dating was literally retarded. He was retarded. I just was like, and I told her, this nigga slow, he retarded. She said, yeah, I know, he says, no, the reason why I know he retarded, I got a nephew that is retarded, that is able to pull women because he is, you know, kind of naturally a good looking guy. But if you look at it in any way, he retarded. You know what I mean? In the sense of a real conversation, how about that? In the sense of a real conversation, because I really need, like, I have to have a good conversation. Like, you know, I might not be well spoken myself, but I don't want to talk to no motherfucker I feel is dumb. You know what I mean? And even though you know, I feel say that girl name. Even though she went to college and everything, she really just, you know, she give me slow vibes too. You know what I mean? But I was cool with her. I didn't mind hanging out with her. But baby, every time I turned around, she had a new man. She was fucking, you know, they was moving in out her motherfucking house so fast, and she was fucking 2 and 3 niggas in one day, and this bitch like 5'11". So I'm looking at her like, damn, how come everybody can find somebody but me? But you know, at the time, I wasn't able to put together that it really had something to do about sex. At some point, I came to the conclusion that it had something to do with sex. You know, that, you know, it's like, it just takes some time. Unless you fine. And fine men, not all that attracted to me. So these mediocre ones who think I'm mediocre definitely ain't getting no poo tank. You know what I mean? And I ain't talking about you got to pay for it. You got to work for it emotionally and mentally. And if you're not willing to put in the mental and emotional work for the connection, it's not going to happen. But she was just another one that had, to me, this ability to have all this connection with men. And it's like, well, damn. You know, because I get a like, oh, you know, I get a online, you know, from the pictures I post, and trust, they mostly got filters on them. You know what I mean? Oh, you so beautiful, you so fine. But I have been in live and living color with niggas that's like, damn, you are beautiful, you are fine, you know, you this, you that, you that. But I still don't get, like, I don't get men who want to pursue me without the sex being on the table immediately, and I just cannot do that unless I am just like very physically attracted to you, and that's just few and far between. Like, I got this little youngin that I like on Facebook. Now he came into my inbox from one of my stories talking shit to me, and then when how you doing? And then when I realized that he was so cute, I was like, oh, you know what I mean? He's the type that I would fall for. You know what I mean? And this was like, I say about 3 years ago that he came into my inbox. I literally don't like nobody but him. I don't give a fuck who I talk to online, who I hang out with, or, you know, the potential of anybody else. I like him. And I have never even seen him in live and living color. I've only seen him on Facebook. But he is my type physically. I think he might be 35, or older. I don't know, younger. I don't know. He younger than way younger than me, but he was attracted to me, so I was attracted to him. And the only reason why I mentioned it because it's a bunch of young guys in my inbox on Facebook dating right now, and I'm talking about a ton. I usually get a few, but I'm talking about a ton of them, and they all different colors and races: white, black, Asian, Mexican, Indian. And I'm talking about these boys is like 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, like all of them. And the first thing I say to all of them is like, what do you want with an old ass lady? Go find you a nice little young girl and build a life. I'm into old women, or I'm into more mature women. Well, if you into more mature women, I ain't got no money. I ain't buying no PlayStations. I want you to date me like you would a young girl. So if you think that you're gonna come into my inbox because you're attracted to me and get some poo nanny, you crazy. You should go after people who are unattractive if you're trying to get paid. Either unattractive or overweight. Because if you think that I'm fine, do you know how many other motherfuckers think that I'm fine? And I don't have, although I have not had sex since December of 22, I don't feel like I'm suffering for no dick. I would love a little bit. But if I don't like you, it ain't gonna be good no way. That's why I don't even indulge in it. You know, I had this one little young guy, 37, which is not all that young, but he's still like my son's age. He got a picture of himself, dick big as a motherfucker. I mean, dick big. He got it in front view on his page on Facebook. He in my inbox, give me your number, I want to call you. But baby, I ain't responding to him. So he said something the other day about, because he sent his number finally. He said, so you're not going to call. I said, baby, you ain't doing number slanging dick. I said, now I'm looking for somebody slanging conversation. You know what I mean? I can't get excited about your big dick because sex is so mental for me. It's not as physical as it is for most people. And if I like you mentally, whether you're doing it good or not, I'ma like it because I like you mentally. So, you know, you ain't gonna get much out of me in that department unless you create a real connection mentally and intellectually. I remember when I was real young, I think it was before I even had kids, I was dating this guy. He was real tall, kind of awkward, but I liked him. You know what I mean? I liked him a lot. And we just used to do things together. All kind of little things we did together. But he couldn't believe that I liked him. And the reason why he couldn't believe it was because after we finally had sex, his dick was so little. It literally felt like somebody's finger in there. It was so little. And so he didn't think, hey, how y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm all right. Hey, Leo.
Hi, Sebastian. Hi, good boy.
Leo, be nice. Where y'all been?
That's where he was.
Wait, y'all been to the park?
No, we went to the farmer's market in
Which-
St. Peter's.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
think it's at a lake park. I don't know which lake. I don't know what the name. It was 370 Lake Park.
I was gonna go to the farmer's market in Tower Grove today, but we stayed in so long. This is our first walk of the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
we should take him. There were so many dogs. He had so much fun.
Oh, really? They got a park in there where they can run free?
Yes.
Really?
Free, but I mean, I don't think you're supposed to take him off leash, but I did.
Oh,
And he was
okay.
fine. There was a splash pad also. I
A
didn't
who?
let him go in. A splash pad.
Oh,
watched
okay.
the
Yeah,
timer
yeah.
but there were so many dogs. He had fun.
Okay, well, we're going to have to consider that. Leo, are you being a good boy?
He's trying to.
It's getting hot out. I think when we get through with this walk, we done. I ain't going to be out back
Oh, I
out
know,
to my...
me too.
It's hot today. I didn't think it was going to be this hot because it's been cool the last couple of days.
Yes,
So I don't know.
I know.
Well, let us know when y'all going on a good walk.
Absolutely, you have fun, bye.
All right. That's my little doggy friend. We had made a date last week that we was going to go on a doggy date, and it got hot like this. And she didn't show up, but I went, and she didn't show up. And I went based on the fact that I didn't want her to come and I not be there. But she just said, shit, it's too hot. And I could have said the same thing. So I'm still working on that shit too. Anyway, where was I at when she pulled up? I can't even remember. My mind be going so fast. And it done got hot out here. Whew. Anyway, let that be the end of this story anyway. I wanted to talk about that one thing, and I just can't stay on topic to save my life. I move around too much, but if I think of something else today that I wanted to include in this video, I will make another video. In the meantime and in between time, love yourself authentically. Not in a way that feels like everybody else sees it, but in a way that you feel it and you know it and nobody can control it but you.